So option 2, which ended up not being an option, was that the vet said she'd done it before on a cow where the calf had died inside the mother. And they go in with special tools, highly risky, and they basically cut up the calf within the mother and pull out pieces. So quite a horrific one, and one that I immediately shut down and wasn't an option for us. It risks the mother as well. So the Caesar option also we decided not to go with, and partly the reason was if we're going for a Caesar and we had a higher probability of saving a lamb and a mother and the ewe at the same time, then it makes both financial and whatever else sense. So, but the reality was that we had already lost the baby, and so that also ceased to be an option. So we went with option 3. So the vet, we sort of held her down. We had to actually lift her up so that gravity could help push the baby back down, and have the vet then pull the legs out, because it was the elbows that were sort of sticking out and they needed to be pulled forward and out, and it was a whole thing. So we tried and we tried and we tried. She eventually got the legs in the right direction. By this time we had actually unfortunately found out that the baby hadn't made it. Turns out the baby had actually not been alive for quite a while, and I won't sort of detail some of the horrific sides of what that meant in the end of the day. But yeah, long story short, we were left with only a few options. So there's a baby stuck inside a mom that's not alive. Now, obviously, full focus went on trying to save the mother. It was quite an emotional day for me yesterday, quite a tough one, a long day, because we made the decision to slaughter the mother. It was a highly educational process, and it's the first animal that we've actively and on a clear decision basis slaughtered. Went through that process, and we've got a really cool grass-fed free-range butcher that's going to cut up the animal for us, and at the end of the day we're going to have hopefully some beautiful mutton. So it wasn't all in vain, but I thought I'd bring you guys up to speed with what a day was like for me, and how I'm in amongst all of that trying to sort of balance the farm life with normal work life, and as I try and transition into a more full-time farming space, these difficult juggling acts and decision makings and additional pressures I find myself under. It's certainly not straightforward why I go through some of these challenges. Look at these two little black and white cuties. These twins popped out recently. Hello guys. Hello. Yeah, so what you can see the little one doing there, they're still obviously heavily on milk and suckling from the mother, but they do start to now forage around and get a little bit of the grasses in, and their rumen starts to slowly activate. But they are, at this point, almost 100% still reliant on mommy's milk. Have another look. Hi, cuties. In our case, the animals we try not to name all of them, although it's difficult when little lambs pop out and your kids already give them names like Chocolate and Cinnamon. But we effectively do know the animals. There's few enough numbers that we actually understand each of them and each of their characters, and you are closer to them than they would be in a large operation where they're effectively nameless. So we have to draw we kind of ride a very thin line between a production outfit and a personal hobbyist sort of homesteading type arrangement. But in both, there is the full understanding that you are doing this for production at some level. The difficulty here becomes that decision making is not only financial, and so although there's going to be a cost implication, we also factor in the value of the animal for its other services and its ecological footprint and what it adds to the regenerative agriculture process. So it all very much cloudies the decision making. The decisions we had to make here, we were presented with a couple of options once the vet had done the assessment and we had determined that the lamb hadn't made it. One is a Caesar. The Caesar option doesn't come without its risks, so it's not a risk-free decision. But the reality is that the cost of the operation would exceed the financial value of the animal. So in a larger production operation, it's clear cut. You cull the animal, maybe harvest the meat if it's viable, and you move on. In our scenario, it's like I say, it's not as clear cut as that. Yeah, so for what it's worth, I'm going to show you guys some of the videos I took yesterday with the vet, as well as some of the slaughter stuff. So if any of you have a sort of sensitive or weak constitution, now's the time to maybe turn off the video. There's nothing horribly graphic, but at the same time it is there are things like a vet's arm halfway up a sheep's rear end, and the slaughter process obviously includes seeing the insides of an animal. So yeah, if you're not in for that, then switch off now.